WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, tasting often rare and exotic whiskeys. And today I have a Maker's Mark Private Select for Kirsch Import, a Germany exclusive, 53.75% alcohol volume. So for you in America, it's 107.5 proof. Very, very nice. So now I just opened this bottle up. I actually am an exhibitor now at whiskey fairs in Germany, trying to peddle our own products from N10 bourbon and so on. The Uncle Nearest, the Wilderness Trails, the Peerless, the Sagamores, the New Riffs, and so on. And so I also have a good selection of other bourbons to show what we can do. And so I had this bottle at the whiskey fair. I poured out some drams and so on, but it was fairly hot, so it was up in the 80s, maybe even at the 90-degree Fahrenheit, which is just short of 30 degrees Celsius. And what happened was the glue became unglued. It was unglued from the lid. So basically what they have here, they have nice little indentations in that artificial cork here. They put some glue on it. They stick it in here. And it's all supposed to hold together, which did not happen. So the fourth time I opened it up, it just separated, and since then it's never been the same. Oh well. Shows a little bit about the quality of the corks at the moment, or the glue, or whatever else. So 53.75% ABV. Most of you do know what a private select is. We have that in Germany now. This is at least the second or the third one in Germany I've seen. In Austria, they have had one or two as well. I'm sure there's many more. When I visited the distillery back in 2018, it was one of the most beautiful distilleries I had ever visited. Marge, she did a great job, Marge Samuels, getting that distillery just so pristine back then. It stayed that way, watching the ladies and maybe the gents, but I only saw ladies there, actually on the bottle line, dipping the bottles and letting that wax pour down here. That was just an amazing moment, and seeing everything going into that cave is what I'm going to call that cellar in the wall that I think they used dynamite into that limestone to actually have room now to do their private select selections here. Very good. They just take their normal whiskey, 5+ years, and then add a finishing of these staves. Now a stave is basically, if I remember correctly, about this long and about 2 inches wide and about a half an inch thick. All right, so they actually put 10 of these staves on a nice little plastic ring. They hang it in the barrel, so they hang down and they're actually in contact with the liquid. So if you look at the label, it says here, of course, Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey. That's it. No Kentucky Straight, because it can't be called straight because you're adding wood to it, actually. And it's barreled finished with oak stave, 70 CL, Germany, a European, not 75. 70 CLs here, Loretto, Kentucky. I was just in the States here in July. I'm going to call it the June. I came back on July 4th, so on July 3rd. So I was in June in Kentucky. I drove by Loretto on the interstate, but did not go. I went to many other places and wanted to see as much as possible. It was really cool. And what we have here is we have one of the staves. No, I'm wrong. It's going to be 3 of the Maker's 46 staves. That is the one that started the whole experiment. We have dried fruit, vanilla, spice. We have of the baked American pure stave. I actually have one in here, slowly toasted. Of the seared French cuvee staves, I have 3 as well. They're actually cooked with infrared heat. Of the roasted French Mendiant stave, it's French oak cooked on low in a convection oven. I only have one. The French spice stave here, I actually have cooked at both high and low temperatures in a convection oven. I have also 3. And the roasted French mocha stave, cooked on high in a convection oven. I actually have the French mocha stave. I only have one. So 1 baked American, 3 seared French, 3 Maker's 46, 2 roasted French, and 1 toasted French spice stave. Very, very good. So what am I going to compare it to, you may ask? Jason thought about this for half a second. I just pulled out something I haven't used as a comparison of whiskey for a long time. Johnny Drum Private Stock, 50.5%. I really like this. Now, my personal experience, this is Willet, which means it's not made by Willet, but it's actually distilled and bottled in Kentucky, yay, Bardstown. And so this is source whiskey here. It says Willet Distillery, Bardstown, Nelson County. And there's some older bottles and there's some newer bottles in Germany. And the screw cap, if I remember correctly, are the newer ones. Not so good. The ones with the cork are the older ones, if I remember correctly. They are much better. They have more of a honey-forward fruit moment. And I'm talking about strawberries and raspberry type of fruit moment. So is the oak as strong as here? No. But still, it's a worthy candidate. What's the price of this? The old price, now what's happening in Germany and probably all over the world at the moment is inflation is causing everything to go crazy. So at the moment over here in Germany, 2022, the summer here, we have about 10%, 9% inflation, which means that this bottle used to cost 46 euros. Now it costs 70 euros. I don't know about you, but that's not 10% inflation. If I remember my math correctly, when a price goes up by a lot, almost 70, 60%, that's a whole different ball game here. All right, so even if you look at the colors here, you will see, of course, that the Maker's Mark Private Select is much, much darker. Now, I always have a little, it says here Private Select, it says here Private Selection. I know Select is the short term of selection, but the Private Select has the trademark, the Private Selection does not. So I would actually, if I were Beam Suntory or Maker's Mark, I would have stuck with one thing. Let's just call it Private Select and not try to use Selection and Select interchangeable because it's not. So the only trademark they have is in Private Select. All right, on the nose. I love this nose. Now this nose, it's got some of that French oak in there. And it's very, very interesting that it's without getting too much of a chocolatey moment, there's actually a little bit of like a teak moment going on there from wood, which I don't get very often. There's a light little coca bean in there and coffee bean moment going on in there. And there's some French oak going on there, which in this case, a roasted French oak, which I just thoroughly enjoy. So, so we have the seared French cuvée, we have the roasted French Médion, and we have the Maker's 46. So these are very, very good. Now this is nice. If you can get a bottle of Johnny Drum Private Stock and it's the honey forward type of raspberry strawberry moment here, yummy, yummy for your tummy. This is something which is really, really interesting, really nice. 50.5%. There is a Johnny Drum Black and the Johnny Drum Green. The world does not, we experts in whiskey and bourbon do not need those, but the Private Stock is one of those things that's more or less of a secret. No one talks about them that much. They are very different. Oh, cheers. 53.75, 50.5. So 3.25 difference in the proof here. All right. Cheers. I'm sure many of you know, but I didn't. I had to look it up. The mash bill of Maker's Mark. Some of us should know these. I'm learning still. 70% corn, 16% red winter wheat. Sorry, 16% soft red winter wheat. I did not know there's hard a red winter wheat. And 14% malted barley. That's the wheater here. Now, I must admit, I'm not a big fan of the Maker's Cask Strength. Other people love it. I think Chad and Sarah just did a video where they talked about the best and worst from each distillery. And they also talked about Maker's Mark. And they both agreed that the 45 was the worst. And they both basically agreed the best was going to be either the Private Select, which Sarah chose. Shame on you. It's not a real whiskey that should be in that list. Or, as Chad correctly pointed out, it's going to be the Cask Strength. In my opinion, it's not. I would rather have any day of the week the 46. Now, I could and should be probably comparing it to this. I still have the nice, sexy, rounded bottle. Not the square one yet, but hey, I went for this instead to have a little bit of a change here. Now, this, I added water in my German video. I put a few drops in it. I got a little bit less of that fruity caramel moment and more of the mocha moment. And I diluted it down to like 45, 48%. It stands up to water a little bit, but to be honest, the 53.75%, bam, it's spot on. I would actually recommend drinking it as God intended it, or as Samuel, as in Mr. Samuel's intended. Price. Oh, I haven't talked about it. There is no whiskey base number yet. I'm so early. Now, according to my calculations, I can buy this from the wholesaler over here in Germany, Kirsch import. And if I just take my normal, I add the VAT, which is 19% over here in Germany, which is included in all the prices, so it doesn't really hurt. The sales tax is 19%. The average in Europe is like 21%, so Germany is a little bit low still. And then I add the 30% of the retailer margin. So they get 30% usually from every bottle sold to cover their overheads and so on. This should be somewhere around 95 euros. Now, I've seen it for 89, I've seen it for 99, and I've seen it for 109. So you can save a lot of money by shopping around and comparing prices, all I have to say, right? So 99, 109, and 89. I don't get the pricing here. Why different people take such an extreme price. Oh, by the way, this is even worse. The price used to be, I'm talking like 3 months ago, I'm talking about the beginning of 2022, Easter 2022, this was 46 euros. Now I see it online between 65 and 79 euros for this bottle. Same bottle, same stuff, same thing. Yeah, it used to be 46, and now it's between 65 and 79. Some of the prices here for bourbon and whiskey in general in Germany are just no. No. All right, cheers. So, I like this. The sweet honey, the raspberry, the strawberry moment going on here, very, very good. This, on the other hand, is a tick better. This has more of the deeper, more complex moments going on here. On the nose, as I said, that light mocha moment. The 53.75, excellent. You don't need to add water, in my opinion. It's just right where it is. If you do add some water, it doesn't hurt it, but it doesn't let it shine as much as it does there. The alcohol has a nice supporting role. All those 10 staves that were added for those 9 weeks really do a doozy to this and make it into something which is better than the 46, better than the Maker's Mark Cask Strength, in my opinion. So let's play the game that Chad and Sarah, it's Bourbon Night, played. What is your least favorite Maker's Mark product? I can pull this out real quick. No, I can't. My least favorite is actually the Maker's Mark Cask Strength. I don't like the Maker's Mark Cask Strength. I like this. I also am not a fan of the Maker's Mark Normal. My favorite is going to not to be the Select because that's cheating. My favorite is going to be the 46. I adore the 46. Now, all of the other ones you have, I'm going to call them RD2, R2D2, and whatever they're all called, never made it over to Germany. Never made it over Europe. So I can't talk about all those. I think Maker's Mark and Beam Suntory are doing an amazing job of putting out some amazing juice, and us fans are really getting to like some of the stuff that they're doing. So why not? All right, thank you very much for watching. Please write down in the comments what is your least favorite Maker's Mark product and what is your favorite. Just write top and flop, and then just put a colon and just write what it is, and I will look forward to seeing you again here sometime soon. Whiskey Jason here. Whiskey Jason over in Germany with a Germany exclusive for Kirsch import together with Maker's Mark. See you soon. All the best. Bye-bye.